Good evening. We'll call to order the 1,664th meeting of the Board of Trustees. Can I get a roll call, please?
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholson.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Present.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the preceding meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All right. I have no comments. Go to the report of the committees. Trustee Nicholson, can you read the program management report, please?
Yep. Good evening, everyone. The Program Management Committee met on October 4th, 2022 at 7:33 a.m. The meeting was attended by Trustees Evans, Wilson, Wabi, and Watson, with myself and Farrer online. Chairperson Nicholson called roll and had no further comments. The minutes of the August 30th, 2022 Program Management meeting were approved. The agenda items to be introduced tonight were presented and discussed, including a detailed discussion regarding the following items. Ordinance number 15991, Louisa and Arsenal Pump Station upgrades. Staff discussed this unplanned supplemental appropriation of $250,000 to an existing project being constructed by Tarleton Corporation. The supplement request is required to complete the construction due to additional costs for structural modifications to the existing building and damage caused by the rain event on May 3rd, 2022. Ordinance number 15992. Staff discussed this unplanned supplemental appropriation of $350,000 to an existing contract with Bates Utility Company, Incorporated. The supplemental request is required to complete the construction due to lengthy lateral reconnections and additional rock excavation. Staff is requesting introduction and adoption at tonight's meeting to allow for this work to be completed in a timely manner without requiring the contractor to demobilize. Ordinance number 15993, CSO volume reduction green infrastructure, Washington University ball field upgrades. Staff provided details of one CSO volume reduction green infrastructure grant being awarded to reduce combined sewer overflows to the river to per the consent decree. Staff provided details of the grant being awarded to Washington University for various volume reducing improvements. Ordinance numbers 15995 to 16000. Staff reviewed the details and bid information for 5 construction projects bid over the past month. These ordinances will authorize contracts and appropriate the necessary funds for these projects. Ordinance number 16001, emergency repair number 070. The supplemental appropriation is necessary to continue repairs to collapsing sewers and structures at the intersection of Blair and Ferry Avenue in the city of St. Louis. This repair was declared an emergency on June 8th, 2022. The initial structure repair and securing of the street and utilities have been completed. This additional work will relocate the collapsing sewer by installing a new tunnel and sewer. Staff is requesting introduction and adoption at tonight's meeting to allow for this work to proceed without delay. Trustee Wabi asked about the age of the collapsing sewers and programs we have in place to detect failing sewers throughout the city. Staff discussed the age of the current sewer systems and programs in place to inspect and monitor the systems. Ordinance number 16002, emergency repair 071. Staff provided details on this emergency sewer repair project located on Forsyth Boulevard in the city of Clayton. The executive director declared the emergency and notified the board on September 19, 2022. This item will be introduced and adopted at tonight's meeting. Ordinance numbers 16003 through 16006. Staff reviewed the details of 4 projects currently in easement and parcel acquisition. Staff has been unable to obtain these property rights through negotiation. Staff is requesting authorization from the board to move forward with condemnation efforts to allow the project to remain on schedule. The project schedules are critical to ensure compliance with the district's consent decree. Ordinance numbers 16010 through 16013. Staff presented and reviewed details of 4 planned appropriations and contract authorizations for engineering design services on tonight's agenda. The services will provide engineering design for sanitary sewer relief projects required by the consent decree. These projects are planned for construction over the next 2 fiscal years. Under other business, staff gave a brief presentation on the district's Water Environment Association Stormwater Institute MS4 Award as being the best managed program of its kind in the nation. MSD engineering staff will receive this award at the annual association conference later this month. The board congratulated staff on this award. The next committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for November 1st, 2022. The meeting was adjourned at 9:26 a.m. This concludes the Program Management Board comments report.
All right, thank you. Next up is the Finance Committee, but Trustee Fair is absent, so I'll go ahead and read that report into the record. Finance Committee met on October 4, 2022 at 8:28 a.m. The meeting was attended by Trustees Wilson, Evans, Watson, Wabi, and Nikozison and Fair online. Chairperson Fair called roll and no further comments. The minutes of the August 30, 2022 Finance Committee meeting were approved. The following agenda items to be introduced tonight were presented and discussed. Resolution number 3793, Oracle EBS 12.1.3 support services. This action authorizes a contract with Remedy Street for software support, patching, and security updates to the legacy Oracle EBS software. This resolution authorizes the district to exercise the option year of a contract with Remedy Street. Resolution number 3788, transfer of fund balance. This resolution authorizes the transfer of $3 million of the fund balance from the general fund to the wastewater emergency fund to pay for emergency wastewater projects totaling $2.9 million that are on tonight's agenda. Resolution 3794, power system studies. Authorizes staff to exercise the second of 3 option years of a professional services agreement for power system studies arc flash assessments. Ordinance number 15489 authorized the district to enter into a 1-year professional services agreement with 3 option years with Ross and Barazzini for engineering services throughout the district. The purpose of this contract is to provide district staff with the ability to access existing electrical power lineups at district facilities and assist district staff in safely operating electrical power lineups. The studies to be conducted include short circuit analysis, electrical equipment evaluations, protective device coordination analysis, and arc flash hazard risk assessment for all electrical equipment. Other items discussed during the committee meeting include the following. Secretary Treasurer Tim Snoke reviewed the district's operating fund portfolio as of September 28, 2022. Tim indicated that the portfolio is in compliance with the district's investment policy. Tim also discussed 2 state revolving fund loans totaling $125 million that will be used to fund a program to rehabilitate the district's sewers, to reduce inflow and infiltration, and to construct the Lower Merrimack Tunnel project. In addition, he also stated the district will submit a loan application for funding from the Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act. He provided a summary of the projects that would be constructed with the WIFIA loan proceeds. The next district committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, November 1, 2022. Meeting was adjourned at 8:41 a.m. This concludes the Finance Committee Board Comments Report. All right, Trustee Wilson, can you read the Stakeholder Committee report, please?
Yes, I will. The Stakeholder Relations Committee meeting board's comments report. The Stakeholder Relations Committee met on October the 4th, 2022 at 8:44 a.m. Meeting was attended by Chairperson Wilson, Trustees Evans, Wabi, and Watson, with Trustees Fair and Nikozison on via Teams. Chairperson Wilson called roll and had no further comments. The meeting of the August 31st, 2022 Stakeholder Relations Committee meeting were approved. The agenda and discussion items were as follows. Resolutions number 3789, 3790, 3791, and 3792. The first agenda items were a discussion by Tracy Coleman regarding the resolutions for the district's group dental, FMLA insurance, group life insurance, and accidental death and dismemberment and long-term disability plans. All plans are for 1-year option renewal. Ordinance number 16014. The next item was a discussion by Brian Holscher regarding an ordinance that will identify and select the rate commission organizations and their respective terms. Brian noted that the organizations that are leaving the commission, those continuing their current terms, and the appointment of new organizations and their respective terms. There will be an ordinance for introduction and adoption on tonight's agenda. Diversity FY 2022 Annual Report. The next item was a presentation of MSD's Diversity Annual Report by Shauna Paradis. Shauna's presentation summarized the CIRP construction and design vendor workforce goals and utilization, small contractor infrastructure and repairs program, and community benefits initiative. Updates were also provided regarding the disparity study, timeline of events, and implementation schedule. There's no board action required at this time. Closed session. At approximately 9:11 a.m., Chairperson Wilson requested a motion, and a vote was taken and approved to move into closed session pursuant to RSMO Section 610, Paragraph 21, Subparagraph 12, to discuss CO proposals and related documents or any documents related to a negotiated contract. At approximately 9:36 a.m., Chairperson Wilson requested a motion to end closed session and return to open session, and all trustees concurred. The meeting was adjourned at 9:37 a.m. The next committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for November the 1st, 2022. This concludes the Stakeholder Relations Committee Board's comment.
Thank you. Do we have a report of the Executive Director?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I do have just one comment tonight. The board will be voting on the 14 rate commissioners for MSD's upcoming rate proposal. The information was provided at the time. The Municipal League of St. Louis had not identified their candidate or their delegate. They have done that. The gentleman is Ben DeClue. He's the city administrator for the city of Glendale. So this doesn't change what you're voting, but because the information we presented is slightly different, we have this bit of information. I wanted to pass that on to you before you consider the rate commission members tonight.
Thank you. We have a number of comments from the public tonight. It looks like several folks from the Ellendale Neighborhood Association. I'm going to go through the comments in the order that you guys signed up. Feel free to say your piece. We have a 5-minute limit on any comments. And if you guys wanted to select a spokesperson to talk for multiple people, you can do that too. But the first comment is Matthew Seisel.
Good evening, members. Good evening, board members. Sorry, I'm a little tall. My name is Matthew Sissel. I'm the president of the Ellendale Neighborhood Association. Ellendale is a neighborhood of the city of St. Louis. We're located, our boundaries are Manchester on the north, Hampton on the east, I-44 on the south, and the city limits to the west. Our neighborhood has two river systems, creek systems that run through it. One is River to Pear, which is the most substantial. Our neighborhood is also where Deer Creek intersects River to Pear, approximately at the Wellington Bridge area of the city of St. Louis, which I believe MSD owns some property on, and there are it's currently a tenant. You currently have a tenant there. It's a foam company, but their MSD does own some property at that intersection, approximately where Deer Creek intersects River to Pear. So obviously, we've had some substantial flooding in July. I recognize that the rain events that we had were region-wide. They were not specific to the Ellendale neighborhood, but because of our location and because our lowest lying areas were much more affected than in other parts of the city of St. Louis. I understand that MSD is meeting next week, or at least some representatives of MSD is meeting next week with the Public Safety Committee of the Board of Aldermen. We would like to encourage, I would personally like to encourage the MSD communicate directly with members in the neighborhood, with the residents affected. We've had meetings with the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Missouri, Congresswoman Bush, state senators, state representatives, aldermen, no one from MSD. And so that's problematic as far as what your plans are. In our community, we've had a number of infrastructure projects in our community over the past 15 to 20 years that we are told have been designed to improve some of the flooding and the sewer backups in the neighborhood. And what we've instead seen is them getting much, much, much worse. So those are my comments. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Does staff have a response to the comments, or would you prefer to reserve to the end of the comments?
If you don't mind, let's wait till the end and I can kind of summate where we're at with everything, if that'd be possible.
That sounds good. Next on the list, I have Deborah and Jeffrey Beauchamps.
Hearing us?
Thank you.
As Matt said, I also live in the Ellendale neighborhood. 30 years. In those 30 years, 7 times. I haven't gone more than 7 years without my house flooding, and my kid's wife had to live through all this. Many of the times, almost all of the times, were sewer backup, some worse than others. My neighborhood, as Matt also said, has with the additional work that has been done in my neighborhood. I moved in '93. Since then, they did some work on the Arsenal Bridge. Since then, they put in a sewer system right down the middle of my street, like my street got dug up. So that the land that I live on and the topography of the land that I live on is not the same land that I purchased in '93. And as Matt had mentioned, things have gotten worse and worse and worse. And was it 2015 was the last time we had flooding. At that time, 3 of the houses on our street were purchased and knocked down. The MSD had said it was their fault because certain things, improvements they made did not work. They paid people for the damages. Or some would argue that not to the fullest extent, but the effort was made. The houses that were knocked down, one was right next to my house. The other one was across the street and down a few houses. They told us that they couldn't buy our house because they'd already been buying others, and they're kind of run out of the budget. By 2019, they would be coming back around to look and see about knocking or buying these houses out because the consistent flooding, not a one-time event or a two-time event, as I mentioned earlier, 7 times. The house has sustained so many events that each time it sets you back and sets you back and sets you back, and people have said, well, why doesn't my wife and I, why don't Jeff and Debbie move? Well, try to sell a house that you have to disclose, which I will, disclose that has been flooded that many times. My question after all that is, and Matt had mentioned, we're not hearing from anybody. We've made numerous attempts to contact and get some type of answers, as he mentioned, the Lieutenant Governor, the Mayor of St. Louis, Congress people, and have all come and did a big a news conference. I was on NPR. I was on Channel 5, did a news story on our house. I can't even name them all, but still nothing from MSD. And again, a lot of places got hurt on that last rain event that was major, and we haven't had anything like it. But my contention is with the things that have been done to the property and the land since we've moved in, and the fact that we shouldn't still be there. They should have done some more, that we didn't have to go through this event. My wife was not electrocuted. She got, we almost got trapped in her basement. And my wife got electrocuted getting out of bed to turn the light when the water started coming in the house. Other neighbors had to float their wife and kids on doors, and we got rescued by boat. And like, we shouldn't be there anymore. Like I said, the ground is no longer, the topography is no longer the same as when I initially bought the house. In the big flood of '93, we had a dry house. But the only thing that changed over the years were the different programs and bringing Project Clear, taking water from places that are having issues and bringing it to the lowest area, which is, there's no way that it can handle our water, plus Creve Coeur water, plus U City water, plus Maplewood, Richmond Heights water that all comes down. They just added more water to those gates. And I have video the night that the sewer blew up and shot up, and then each house, boom, 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 each just started filling up. Even before the street even began to get full of water, basements were already full of sewer water, and of course rainwater as well. And my question is, what is being done? Is there activity? It's silent out here. All we're hearing is crickets as far as MSD, and we'd really like a strong response. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Jim Hummel, would you like to make a comment?
Bill, neighbor was saying, we get water coming in. I had water on the second flood, just got done. Basement, started to rain. I'm wondering why we don't have backflow. We're getting, not coming in and flooding over foundation, at least in my there. But it's coming. Could be some kind of backflow centers. Last time down there, sewer lids were all blown up. We were told you guys. So, you know, I've seen it happen. I was within. Guys got to get something. Water. Then, as haven't been water sewer. We've seen nobody. Guys have. Yeah, I know my Steve.
Thank you. John Ward.
I've been on that block, that Queen on one side, Hermitage on the other. Been on that block for over 20 years. Moved into very last house on the west side of the street, right next to the River to Pear on Queen in 1999. Because I needed more room and there was an adjoining property in 2012, bought a house on Hermitage. Neither one of my houses basement. One is on a slab, the other is a crawl space. About 20 years ago, not long after I bought this on Queen, MSD representative came around and wanted to dig up my gravel driveway and put a 6-foot pipe under it, parallel to the River to Pear, right alongside it. For about a year. one of the questions I had, what was that? That was 20 years ago. What was that pipe supposed to do? When I moved in, I think my sewer bill in the Queen House was about $12 a month. It's now like 60. So between the two houses, just went up another $5. I'm paying $125 a month for two people to have their sewer, have their sewer service. The city provides trash pickup and clean water, some of the best in the country, for a fraction of that. So, and I've noticed since this flood that just downstream, like a whole wall there collapsed, and pretty sure it wasn't like this flood. Looks like there was a lot of damage done. So I just want to know what's going to be done, because we're all stuck in these properties. We're older people. Many of us are retirees. We own the houses outright. Nobody's going to buy these from us at market publicity. So I just don't understand why I know the rate went up because supposedly the federal government's making you spend billions of dollars on separating the storm and the sewer water. Well, that's still not happening. And even though I don't have basements, I got 3 or 4 feet of water in the house. So probably before it actually started coming in the door, it was probably coming up through the toilet, because the toilets aren't that tall. So it's just something that never happened to me. When we had a hurricane 12, 15 years ago, I had a few inches in the very bottom of my gravel driveway, very into Queen. I barely got over the banks. Cleared the sticks out so it could go back in, and it was gone. You would come out and see now, I have the water, since I've been there, it's probably at least 6 feet higher than it. You can see the stuff that's caught in the bushes on the other side of my fence along the river there, and the plastic bags that are caught midway up my 4-foot fence. So, I mean, I know that was a lot of rain, but I just want to know what you plan to do about it. And I've also heard that gates, pumps were not turned on until 8 o'clock in the morning. That's a little late since the rain was, flooding was about 3:30 a.m. Everybody was in bed and we all lost our cars. Yes, that's all I really want to know is needs to be something done. We're the lowest spot, I'm sure. Low, and then we're compared to down at Germania, they have much farther down. But state representative said, they're doing all this up in North County where the drainage starts. They're doing all this terracing and making impermeable surfaces. And the sad thing is, on our block on Hermitage, we have a lot of vacant lots. We have a lot of there's a lot of impermeable surfaces there, but that's not where that water is coming from. And it basically came in at Queen. It was a current going by my house. I had to wait out my dog. And I think it went back based on where the tree was. I think it started draining a lot of it. Spot. It came in at Queen, went down and got those 2 blocks down on, have about 9 or 10 houses right along McCausland. They're very low and they're right next to the. But this is a very bad situation, people, and all our houses are condemned. They don't know what's going to happen with that in the long term with the city. So I guess that's all I have to say. Just want to hear if there are any survey or plans or appropriations or build a 4-foot levee or something right along that area to push the water on downstream, because that's what everybody.
Thanks, sir. Andrew Schaefer.
Hey guys, my name's Andrew Schaefer. I live in the Ellendale neighborhood. And I'm the guy that talking about having to rip off my door and put my kids and my dogs and try to float them to safety through sewer water and rainwater. But the door didn't hold, so I had to put them on my shoulders. Take 3 kids, 3 dogs, and my wife through 6-foot high sewage. It was sewage. Call it rainwater, but the moment you drop a little bit of sewage in there, it becomes sewage. And I had to do that all while watching the fire department and at bay and do nothing. Now I served in the military during Iraq, and I find it really sad that this is what I have to go through. Navy veteran and some other neighbors here. But I wanted to discuss the flooding that occurred on 7/26. Oh, and 7/28. Oh, and 8/1. MSD has done multiple projects in that area and has basically put us at the end of a funnel. And in doing so, they basically have either clogged that funnel or slowed that funnel. We have neighbors who live right behind that pump station off Ellendale who have been complaining for a while to us as a joke that every time there's supposed to be a heavy rain, that door opens and they can hear that motor back there turn on and it wakes up in the middle of the night. Those are the same people who were stuck in their attic while the water was coming up to their home. They didn't have nowhere to go because that actual station pump, whatever, didn't open, didn't make any noise like it normally does. I know your spin doctor, Mr. Hadley there, said the water came over the bank. Now, I've worked disaster areas before in the military, and the debris fields didn't match up with what you guys are claiming that it came over the bank. So the debris field should be pushed that way against fences like it was at Afton Baseball, Afton Athletic Association. It was not. Everything was floated like it did, like a bowl. When you plug that area, like filling, it fills up because of the redesign of the entire topography down in that neighborhood. In 2015, when this happened, and it filled the exact same way. I believe it was said that there's new projects going to be going on in that area, and this should alleviate the problem. And then it happened again. And then you guys installed backflow preventers on our street and said, in the paperwork that I have that you guys gave me when I had to sign off to a work that being done digging up my yard, that this will prevent any sewage from coming in. I know that Mr. Hadley made the quote at some point saying, when water fills one house, it goes to the sewer, back to the neighbor's house, and so on and so forth. Well, that's fine. But when you have a preventer that stops it from one house to the next, and to the next, to the next, it doesn't jive. Everything that I've seen doesn't, none of it matches up with the overland flooding. It may have came up over the banks in certain other areas. That's not true in our neighborhood. You know, we've been trying to do this for a while, and nothing ever seems to get done. You know, in 6 months we'll be forgotten about because you guys have some other thing going on. But I think it's really important to understand that that water level, and that was also said the morning of flood as well by Mr. Hadley, that when he was asked if this will have any other problems later on, you know, right after that initial first flood, he said everything's maintained, we shouldn't have any problem with this. And 2 days later, it happened again. And if this isn't a sewer backup and overland flooding, because you guys said it's just overland flooding, not sewer backup, well then why did my homeowner's insurance pay out almost $10,000 for a sewer backup? They have no vested interest in paying me extra money that they can go based on what you guys said that there's no sewer backup. So prove to me there's a sewer backup. And if there prove to me there's overland flooding. And if it's not, if it is, you know what, that really bites. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not. If it is, build a levee, build a wall, build a flood wall. And then tell me again that this won't happen again. Then you'll tell me again that it won't happen. I've heard before. So until that happens, don't say anything. Just fix the problem. You know, when you guys do your job, there's no problem. We've had hard rains before, had long rains before. Not much of any problem once those doors are open. I also did locate a storm sewer at the back of my neighborhood. I don't know if you guys even knew about it because crews that were down there didn't clean it out. So covered with dirt and leaves and everything else. And what I did find funny was when you check the sewer line, it runs in a horseshoe around my neighborhood, back up the street and around and to the river to Bear, instead of it running at the end of our street into river. Versus, well, according to them, it's the engineers that first just back up to the neighborhood and around, and they have it compete with all the other sewer water that you're pumping in from North St. Louis and U City and Shrewsbury and Deer Creek and all that. So, you know, like I said, I just want to let you guys know that and see how we can get this fixed. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Barry Lalamandir.
Thank you for pronouncing it. I'm echoing basically everything else is saying. I don't want, but I do want to add to it that it's really taking away from the value of our home. My wife and I'm 72 years old. My wife is younger than I, and we want to go on out. Love this little neighborhood. It's quiet, no issues. The only issues we have over the years have involving MSD as far as damage to our home. My basement was completely finished. The only part that wasn't was the wash area, but it was still clean. Well, my basement's been gutted. It's just half bath down there, gone. I'm in the process. I will say FEMA responded pretty well and helped, but it's not enough to fix that house up, and I'll never get anything far. Just there's a house too, and this is probably not going to sound like much to all of you, but 2 houses north of me sold, had a double lot and sold for $100,000. Well, I have a double lot. And I knew the people very well, did live in that house. And our house was in fact nicer than that. And now we're not going to get anything. These values are just, I mean, I can't explain how angry, disappointed I am. I echoed nobody from MSD. I was told to call and make my complaint. So I called and made my complaint. On the telephone I was talking to. This was the week after the flood, possibly 2 weeks after the flood. And I said, yes, I'd like to call regarding the flood. Well, when did this happen? I'm sorry, this was on the news. I mean, just that was a slap in the face. So I gave her the dates, and she said, we're going to send a team up. And I said, okay, fine. I appreciate sending a team up. Team never came. 2 guys in my front yard that I think worked for the had best on, stayed in my front yard and walked off. I couldn't get outside fast to get to them and just ask them, what was going on. Nobody from MSD has come by to look at this. I've been in law enforcement for over 50 years. Like most police officers, supplement. I lost. I can't tell you. If I tried to buy what I lost today, it would cost me close to 30. Amplifiers, PA systems, electrical stuff that I had stored in my garage. I built a platform, keep it out of the water. I didn't expect 4.5 feet of water, but anyway, I had water lines that are 4 feet. I had 3.5 to 4 feet in my base water line. I built a workout room for my wife, and in that workout room I've got photographs for all this, prove everything. But I won't get it. We lost just thousands and thousands of clothing and shoes, just crazy. And so I'm just saying, I'm asking, he seriously consider stepping up because we're not going to. I unfortunately have a kid doesn't want to do anything to me or see what MSD. I said, well, right now they're doing nothing, so nothing's going on. So I'm not getting anything. I said FEMA came in and they're helping us out, but it's nothing new. A buyout. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to get anything from my house. we're lucky, my wife and I were lucky, we weren't to the living quarters. We were lucky, our house about that. But again, I'm not gonna. I'm hopeful that somebody will step. Thanks.
Thanks, sir. All right, does staff have a response to any of the comments that were raised tonight?
I think just to start, we will set up a meeting to meet with you. The reason MSD wasn't, and you may disagree with this, wasn't part of this was because of the floodplain filling up that you live in. And the floodplain management is the responsibility of the city of St. Louis. That's why they responded. So we were responding based on the situation. We haven't responded because of that. We owe you that. So I will make sure we set up, because of the floodplain issues, we're going to have to make sure we have a city of St. Louis rep with us. There are some things, a few that are our responsibility, a lot that are some others. So we will make sure we do that. The second part, I think I want to make sure that we've gone through. Brett is here. Brett, let's just make sure whatever records you got that we've gone through since the flooding's done and we have gone through the system to make sure at least the sewers are clean. So we'll commit to do that, and we'll owe you a communication back that occurred. Before the meeting, though, I do want to note a few things from some folks have indicated. So, and the city has relayed to us what is out there. So, and I think 2015 is a good date to start on. In 2015, there was a large storm. We have a sewer system that will take away stormwater along with wastewater, and there's a gate on the end of it. There's no pumps. It is a gate. And what the gate is supposed to do is when River to Pear comes up and inundates the outfall but doesn't flood your property, it's supposed to close because we're required to collect wastewater when the river's up, but you're not receiving rain. That's what failed in 2015. We were working on the site, and the person in charge left the default, the gates closed. River wasn't up, you guys had a big rain, hit that wall that was a gate, you backed up, and that's the reason we reacted the way we did, because the sewer system wasn't working. That is different from everything else. So you are in a floodplain. There's photographic evidence, we have instrumentation evidence. Water did come over the banks. Water did fill that floodplain area. We have photographic evidence, we know it did. And it's a floodplain issue. Now, that didn't happen just there. It happened throughout the entire county, as well as the city. Well, it did. The floodplains filled up and folks were flooded. Yeah, we do. And we will. We'll meet with you and we'll show you. Right. So if you think about this, our outfall for that sewer system is lower than your homes going out to River to Pear. The first place you're going to see the flood as it comes up is probably backing up through the sewer system. I have no doubt about that. But the sewer system got flooded by the storm, and then eventually the properties the same way every place else does. So I'm talking about the outfall into River to Pear. I have no doubt that the water came up through there and got to you before you may have seen it on the surface. It happens throughout the entire, sir, I would ask you, let me finish my items if I can, please. So after the 2015 event, we did indicate we may hope to be back in 2019. MSD, one, we don't manage the floodplain, and two, we have no funding at all to address flooding, overland flooding, floodplain flooding. We have no money. The reason we mentioned 2019, we went to the public to see about getting funding. It's something we can do. We can do like home buyouts and address these issues with things that are not our assets. The public voted no, 53 to 47 in 2019, if you recall that. We're going to go back again in 2024, try to do it. somebody had mentioned that these seem to be occurring more. So excluding 2015, they are. Throughout the entire area, whether it's in 16, 17, and 18, there are spot locations of heavy storms throughout the county and city that pop up and just massive rains come. It's a little different now. We have a 500-year storm, whatever the frequency means, that covered 2/3 of the district on the 26th. You guys got hit again on the 28th with a 100-year storm 2 days later, the saturated ground. Those things are happening. You're right, something needs to be done. We'd love to get, our first goal, we've been finally getting people to understand, is we need to buy out people who are in areas that naturally flood. That needs a first starting point. MSD right now doesn't have funding for that. We failed in 2019, we're gonna try again in 2024. So the floodplain issue, and we may disagree with this, is an issue, the facts in the floodplain. We're looking to see what we do, working with cities, see what we can do now. There are occasions where the wastewater rates, which are really driving your monthly bill, is there something to be done there? Is there a wastewater facility that we need to put in that can help this situation, where we can maybe accommodate some of this? We're looking at everything with the city. Just met with them yesterday morning, or this morning. I can't remember, trying to coordinate what's the right place to spend in all the areas in the city. We've also been doing that with the other municipalities throughout the county who have seen unprecedented flooding in areas that have never flooded before because of the massive amount of rains that have occurred over this summer. So if you're in a 100-year floodplain, we have people within a 100-year floodplain who have flooded 7 times over the last 30 years. That isn't not what happens here. It has happened here in the St. Louis area. Pardon me? Right, and so I think, right. So other in 2015, and like I said, we don't have money to do that. The public has not said we are funded to do that. Yeah, I'm going to be the one speaking to them. Yeah, and we're right now, I'll be honest with you, right, we are going to make that. We don't have the fund. I know the city of University City, the city of Webster, there's other municipalities who are going forward and using their funds, because we don't have any, to go to the federal government to try attempt buyouts. I don't know what the city's thoughts on this were. We'd love to be the agency collecting funds to do that. The public has not seen fit to provide us funds to buy folks out of floodplains. That is where we're stuck at. I'm giving you all this because I'm talking to everybody. Folks seem to be getting it. I know it doesn't help right now. And my response was not because I understand. Right. And we let us get with the city, see what's there, see what we can do. MSD is stuck right now with, like I said, we'll take claim for the one place where the sewer that was supposed to discharge to River to Pear, the gate dropped in 2015. That was our problem. That's one of the reasons you saw us there. Floodplains of themselves are not MSD's issue. Whether or not you decide to build a levee is not MSD's issue. It's the entities who control the floodplains. And that's why it's going to take us to coordinate and get the right people together. We've been meeting with the city. We've been meeting with a lot of municipalities about how to move forward with this so they understand our funding situation. We'll set up, I think I'm trying to indicate, that's why you didn't see us respond, because it didn't, I know there's a lot of agencies involved, and I apologize for that. It didn't fall in our bailiwick. So we'll set something up. We'll talk, pardon me? Well, no, you're talking about, we went out, we did some staking, we did some checking of the sewers, tried to see the, yes. To try, yeah, so sure, of course we were. I think I was mentioning the thing that you've heard from the state, you've heard from the city, you've heard from the, that's what you haven't heard from us. Do we go out and see what happened to we went out through our entire district to see what happened to our wastewater system when areas went under feet of water. Because when they go under feet of water, our sewer system goes under feet of water. And sure, we were out there checking those. So let us get with them and find out and have a discussion with you. We probably should have done it earlier. I apologize for that. Us, as we're moving through these, or having what seems to be the right entities responding, we owe you a response. We owe you time to sit down with you. We'll make sure the city's part of the discussion, and we'll go over everything we know about what's there and what we can do for it. Right. Well, we didn't declare them that. That would be somebody else declared that, not MSD. Right. 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 So, right. Right. So I will assure you that's not what's happening. And I will let you know, River to Pear was going to flood like that even if we hadn't done any of the improvements. Okay. And flood of 93 did not affect River to Pear. Exactly right. It affected the Mississippi River and the Missouri River and the Merrimack River. You're absolutely right. It was different storm in a different location. So we'll meet with you and we'll go through everything we've got and let you know where we stand. We do it owe to the trustees. Once we set up a meeting, once we get with the city, we'll report back to them what the results were. We are working on trying to get a funding source to be able to address this issue. So, but we will sit and we'll have a discussion with the neighborhood and make sure the city's part of that discussion. And that's what we're talking about. Yes. Yeah, I would keep in mind, no, I understand that. Just understand the rainstorms we're seeing now are not what you've seen in the past. It started about 10 years ago locally with isolated. Now we're seeing more regional stuff where large areas are getting hit. We've never had a storm like went through on our records with MSD. Maybe close in 1915, but not quite. And you saw this type of flooding in 1915. And I wasn't here, I just know it was there. So we'll get with you. Just understand this is not something that's happened before. This is more extensive than anything in the past. But we'll get with you and we'll go through it. We'll go through everything we know. Yes, sir. Correct. Correct. But there were flood level elevations up near U City and other places when it was a regular creek before the WPA projects got done. That doesn't mean the floodplains didn't fill up. And they filled up like this. And it was a rain event close to what we saw then. So. Well, so I don't know exactly where the storm path was, but true. Right. The rain may have been past you and it's working its way down the Stream Creek. Yes. Just like it does down the Missouri or the Mississippi, or it happens on the river to Pear as well. So we will sit and have a full discussion about everything. So we will schedule that, and it will be soon. So that's my question is, what is the best, I think we'd ask from you before you leave, somebody give us a contact name or number. Okay, and I'll get that, Rich or somebody raise your hand, or, we've got it, okay, we've got it. We'll make sure we do that, and we'll sit down and we'll have a discussion about everything that's there. I do want to warn you ahead of time, what we hear may not be what you've heard or thought in the past, but we are going to give you everything exactly as it stands. So.
All right, thank you all for coming and commenting tonight, and we'll get back to you. Moving on with the agenda, there are no submission of public hearing reports, no communications, and on to the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The consent agenda tonight is items 10 through 23. Is there any board member who would like to pull an item for a separate vote? Hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So move.
Second.
Given the motion and second, we'll do a roll call. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Okay, on to unfinished business. New business. Item 24, introduction of proposed ordinance number 15991, a supplemental appropriation of $250,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for pump station improvements in Louisa and Arsenal pump stations upgrades in the city of St. Louis, and authorizing the district to appropriate additional funds to contract with Tarleton Corporation. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 25, introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 15992, a supplemental appropriation of $350,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer construction in West Lockwood sanitary relief in the city of Webster Groves, and authorizing the district to appropriate additional funds to contract with Bates Utility Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So move.
Second.
Okay, Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So move.
Second.
All right, Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Okay, item 26, introduction of proposed ordinance number 15993, authorizing the district to enter into agreement with Washington University for cost sharing for green infrastructure construction and CSO volume reduction green infrastructure WashU baseball field upgrades in the city of St. Louis. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Introduction of proposed ordinance number 15994, supplemental appropriation of $3,200,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for pump station improvements in Cox Creek A pump station improvements in the city of Chesterfield, and authorizing the district to appropriate additional funds to contract with Plocker Construction Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Okay. Item 28, introduction of proposed ordinance number 15995, an appropriation of $1 million from the sanitary replacement fund to be used in sanitary sewer constructions in Hathaway Drive sanitary relief in the city of Jennings, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Gershenson Construction Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So move.
Second.
All right. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 29, introduction of proposed ordinance number 15996, an appropriation of $2,900,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer rehabilitation and infrastructure repairs contract A in the city of St. Louis, various municipalities in St. Louis County and unincorporated St. Louis County, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with SAK Construction LLC. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Introduction of proposed ordinance number 15997, an appropriation of $4 million from the improvement fund to be used for wastewater treatment plant construction in Lee May wastewater treatment facility repairs and improvements in unincorporated St. Louis County, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Goodwin Brothers Construction Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So move.
Second.
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Introduction of proposed ordinance number 15998, an appropriation of $650,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer construction and private I&I removal in Lindsay Street, Albert Private I&I reduction in the city of Florissant, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with Understall Contracting Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 32, introduction of proposed ordinance number 15999, an appropriation of $3,200,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for sanitary sewer rehabilitation in North Beefy Creek Public and I&I reduction in the cities of Maryland Heights, Bridgeton, and Village of Champ, and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with In Situ Form Technologies USA. Is there a motion for introduction?
so moved,
Second.
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Okay, item 33, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16000, an appropriation of $2,200,000 from the district-wide stormwater fund to be used for storm sewer construction in Larimore Storm Sewer in unincorporated St. Louis County, and authorizing the district to enter into contract with Waymire Farms Incorporated. Is there a motion for introduction?
so moved,
Second. Okay. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 34, introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 16001, making a supplemental appropriation of $2,500,000 from the emergency fund to be used in emergency repairs and emergency repair number 070 in the city of St. Louis, and authorizing the district to appropriate additional funds to contract with Understall Contracting Company. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
second,
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 35 is an introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 16002, appropriating $400,000 from the emergency fund to be used for emergency repair and emergency repair number 071 in the city of Clayton, and authorizing the district to enter into an emergency construction contract with Bates Utility Company Incorporated. Is there a motion for introduction?
so moved,
Second.
Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
so moved,
Second.
All right, Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 36 is introduction of proposed ordinance number 16003, declaring the necessity of the acquisition of easements and temporary easements in certain real property within the district for the purpose of construction of sewers and related appurtenances in the project known as Greenbrier Number 2 Pump Station, elimination in the city of Des Peres and unincorporated St. Louis County to serve the needs of residents of the area, and authorizing staff to proceed with further condemnation efforts related to the project. Is there a motion for introduction?
so moved,
Second.
Right. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Introduction of proposed ordinance number 16004, declaring the necessity for the acquisition of easements and temporary easements in certain real property within the district for the purpose of construction and of sewers and related appurtenances in the project known as Salesville Sanitary Relief in the city of Chesterfield to serve the needs of residents of the area, and authorizing staff to proceed with further condemnation efforts related to the project. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
second,
All right, given the motion in second. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 38, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16005, declaring the necessity for the acquisition of easements and temporary easements in certain real property within the district for the purpose of construction of sewers and related appurtenances in the project known as WW2 and WW3 Warson Woods Sanitary Relief in the cities of Glendale, Rock Hill, Warson Woods, Ladue, and Kirkwood to serve the needs of residents of the area, and authorizing staff to proceed with further condemnation efforts related to the project. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
All right, give the motion in second. Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 39, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16006, declaring the necessity for the acquisition of real property within the district for the purpose of purchasing one real property to allow for the area necessary to accommodate the construction of a sanitary storage tank, pump station, and collection sewers for the purpose of for the project known as El Toro Wet Weather Storage Facility in the city of Pagedale to serve the needs of residents of the area, and authorizing the acquisition of said one real property by purchase or by the institution of condemnation proceedings. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
second,
Given this motion in second, Trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
yes,
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 40, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16007, a supplemental appropriation of $475,000 from from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for general engineering services and general services agreement facility and sewer design contract A at various locations within the district and authorizing the district to enter into an amendment to contract with Donahue and Associates. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 41, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16008, a supplemental appropriation of $450,000 from the sanitary relief fund to be used for general engineering services and general services agreement, facility and sewer design contract B at various locations within the district and authorizing the district to enter into an amendment to contract with GHD Incorporated. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Thank you. Item 42, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16009, appropriation of $254,640 from the general fund to be used for water quality sampling and stream flow water quality sampling district-wide and authorizing the district to enter into contract with Geosyn Tech Consultants. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 43, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16010, an appropriation of $1,545,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for design of sanitary sewers in BC 01 Phase 3 and BC 02 Phase 2 sanitary relief in the cities of Ladue and Olivet and authorizing the district to enter into contract with Lockmuller Group Incorporated. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 44, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16011, an appropriation of $721,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for design of sanitary sewers in Glen Echo Sanitary Relief in the cities of Normandy and Pagedale, and authorizing the district to enter into contract with Civil Design Incorporated. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion in second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 45, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16012, an appropriation of $542,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for design of sanitary sewers in South Brentwood Boulevard sanitary relief in the city of Clayton and authorizing the district to enter into a contract with David Mason and Associates Incorporated. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 46, introduction of proposed ordinance number 16013, an appropriation of $1,324,000 from the sanitary replacement fund to be used for design of sanitary sewers in Webster Groves Trunk E sanitary relief, the cities of Webster Groves, Glendale, and Brentwood, and authorizing the district to enter into contract with Burns and McDonnell Engineering Company Incorporated. Is your motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion in second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 47 is an introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 16014, repealing ordinance number 14800 as adopted September 14th, 2017, and enacting a new ordinance identifying and designating the rate commission representative organizations to serve on the rate commission of the district. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 48, introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 16015, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $10 million principal amount of subordinate wastewater system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program, Series 2022C of the district for the purpose of improving, renovating, repairing, replacing, and equipping the district's wastewater system, prescribing the form and details of the bonds and the agreements made by the district to facilitate and protect their payment, and prescribing other related matters. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
All right, do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson,
Yes.
trustee Wilson,
Yes.
trustee Nicholasison,
Yes.
trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 49, introduction and adoption of proposed ordinance number 16016, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $115 million principal amount of subordinate wastewater system revenue bonds, State of Missouri Direct Loan Program Series 2022D of the district for the purpose of improving, renovating, repairing, replacing, and equipping the district's wastewater system, prescribing the form and details of the bonds and agreements made by the district to facilitate and protect their payment and prescribing other related matters. Is there a motion for introduction?
So moved.
Second.
Second, given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Do I hear an objection to the suspension of the rule? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
All right, item 50. Adoption of resolution number 3785, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Robert Reed for his 15 years of exemplary service to the district from April 2nd, 2007 to his retirement effective September 1st, 2022. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 51, adoption of resolution number 3786, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Jean A. Ferguson for her 10 years of exemplary service to the district from September 19, 2011 to her retirement effective September 1st, 2022. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 52, adoption of resolution number 3787, expressing the Board of Trustees' appreciation to Kevin Mullen for his 29 years of exemplary service to the district from December 14th, 1992 to his retirement effective October 1st, 2022. Is there a motion for adoption?
Move.
Second.
All right, given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 53, adoption of resolution number 3788, transfer of emergency fund balance, transfer of fund balance of $3 million from the general fund to the wastewater emergency fund. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 54, adoption of resolution number 3789, Group Dental Benefit Plan Cigna, exercise option year one of the contract previously authorized by ordinance number 15794, adopted November 19, 2021, which authorized the district to enter into contract with Cigna Healthcare, provide group dental district-wide. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 55, adoption of resolution number 3790, exercises adoption year one of the contract previously authorized by ordinance number 15795, adopted November 10th, 2021, which authorized the district to enter into a contract with Standard Life Insurance Company, to provide FMLA administration district-wide. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 56, adoption of resolution number 3791, exercises option year one of the contract previously authorized by ordinance number 15796, adopted November 10th, 2021, which authorized the district to enter into a contract with Standard Life Insurance Company to provide group life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance district-wide. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 57, adoption of resolution number 3792, exercise option year one of the contract previously authorized by ordinance number 15797, adopted November 10th, 2021, which is authorized the district to enter into contract with Standard Life Insurance Company to provide group long-term disability coverage district-wide. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Item 58, adoption of resolution number 3793, exercise option year one of the contract previously authorized by ordinance number 15843, adopted December 9th, 2021, which authorizes the district to enter into contract with Rimini Street to provide professional services district-wide. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved. Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
And item 59, adoption of resolution number 3794, exercising option year two of the contract previously authorized by ordinance number 15489, adopted September 10th, 2020, which authorizes the district to enter into a contract with Ross and Rosini to provide power system studies for the district. Is there a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Given the motion and second, trustee Watson.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Nicholasison.
Yes.
Trustee Evans.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, we have no more business.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion to convene?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.